Do you need cash? Do you want to consolidate debt? Premier Credit can help. They provide quick and confidential loans for any reason. Their service is same day and most loans are approved within minutes. You can apply in person or by the phone. Their experienced and knowledgeable loan professionals will leave you feeling confident that your loan is being properly handled in a secure manner. Premier Credit can be reached at 225-667-8100, or you can email WeSayYes@premiercredit.com, or stop by and spin the wheel at 139 Del Norte Avenue in Denham Springs. They're open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and are a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast.
Hi, it's Tricia Johnston, residential realtor with Realtor and Blum, with your real estate tip of the week. Today, I'd like to talk about things that buyers are looking for as they're searching for their new home. It's important for sellers to be able to look at their home through a buyer's eyes so that you can highlight those things that could make a difference to a buyer. More than ever, people are working, learning, cooking, staycationing, entertaining, and watching football games at home. So buyers are looking for an office or a bonus room, a spacious kitchen with lots of counter space, a nice patio with a TV, a larger yard, an outdoor kitchen, or even a swimming pool. Of course, what each buyer is looking for will vary. So as the seller, it's important for you to stage your home in a way that shows the versatility of your home's spaces. That'll help you find the right buyer sooner rather than later. If you have any questions at all, or you would like my help, I'll be happy to help you. I'm Tricia Johnston with Realtor and Blum, and I'll be back here next week with another real estate tip for you.
So what's the difference in a payday loan company and a finance company? What options do you have if you sell a product such as flooring, but you don't offer in-house financing? You're going to get these answers to these questions and many more as I sit down with local leader and owner of Premier Credit, Ray Bergeron. So with that, Ray, welcome to Local Leaders, the podcast.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you here. It's rare in these parts, considering I just had James Adam McCants on before you, that we have someone with great hair. So
thank you.
That's a great start right there.
I was out of place, but thank you.
You are not out of place at all. We're all very jealous of you and your hair. It's a funny thing with bald-headed guys, man. We notice that. It's weird. We're like, the guy has great hair.
And everybody notices y'all. Y'all are shiny.
We are very shiny. We will cast a spotlight real quick. No doubt about it. So if you look down Del Norte Avenue, right off range on the street next to the post office, you're going to notice one thing above everything else. This giant, tall blue sign with an awesome font that has become so recognizable as Premier Credit.
It's a little obnoxious, but it's awesome.
Look, it is beautiful. It's a great sign. It's tall and it lights up at night, all the things you would want to have your name out there. But it really speaks to, I don't know, it just fits your dad, Robert, and his personality, and he's such a good guy. And
that sign, he did that years and years ago, 15, 18 years ago. And if anybody knows my dad, he definitely likes to make a statement. So he'll make a statement for sure. And that sign, it does. And it's easy recognizable for us.
Yeah, I was like, man, I ought to get a sign and put it where I'm going to be and have it 1 inch taller than his.
Oh, my gosh. That'd be perfect. I mean, now that we're going to be neighbors and everything, that'd be fantastic.
There you go. So I'm really excited to have you on here for several reasons. One is your longevity. Premier Credit has been around a long, long time. There's some things that set you apart in your longevity, and I want to get into that a little bit. Yep. And also, I want to get into the function of Premier Credit in particular. What exactly you do and don't do. But first, I want to get a little history on you, where you grew up, where you went to high school, and how you ended up at Premier Credit, even though, nepotism certainly helped. But let's talk about you a little bit. So where did you grow up and go to high school?
Born in Baton Rouge, of course, a women's hospital, brought home to Watson, Louisiana, right here in Livingston Parish. That's where I was, of course, born and raised. Graduated Live Oak High School, 2010. So a little over 10 years ago now. So nonetheless, started working for him, my dad, straight out of high school. Maybe middle part of 2010, around July 2010, was going to school for accounting. And realized that I liked the loan business a lot better, more relatable to people in the area that I could help out and contribute something to them that maybe they couldn't contribute to themselves at that time. And I greatly appreciate that. And that's why I fell in love with it.
Well, and you went into a great field, being in accounting and being a finance person. I mean, you can't. That's a pretty closely related field. So I'm sure it's helped you on your way. But you were kind of born into the credit business, and your dad, who is very well known in this area, very well liked individual. Robert's hard to beat as far as his personality, and so you were raised around it. Do you remember when you were little going into the Premier Credit offices and just kind of sitting in on things?
I do. I remember whenever he bought the office. I wasn't but 6-7 years old at that time, whenever he opened it up in 97. But I do remember just going to the office and thinking, like, what the heck is he wearing a tie for? Now you can't find that guy in a tie to save his life. Yeah. But, nonetheless, I do remember just kind of strolling in there and, getting to learn what your dad does, especially as a young boy who we idolize our parents and especially our fathers, learning what they do to make a living, to obviously provide for the family, and getting such a joy of that, knowing that he not only helps you and your family personally, but he gets to help so many other families, and just how much that not only pleases you, but it pleases your spirit and your soul too.
Yeah, it really does. And you've already said a key point that people need to focus in on. You keep using the word help. Yep. And there's a big difference between some forms of credit where these people are really trying to, get something out of you that maybe you can't afford, or they're just kind of, and then there's people that really want to help you. I mean, good things happen or bad things happen to good people sometimes, and they get in situations, be it COVID, be it the flood, there's a million things we can name. Layoffs, huge issue. So when you have a company that's, especially a locally owned company like a Premier Credit, those are people that can kind of relate to those things and get you the help you need, maybe just to get you kind of over a hump.
For sure. And that's what it's all about, is because each one of us is very different. Mr. Jim, you're different than me, and I'm different than you, and each individual that we help is different. So by us taking a personal approach to help them, we see each person being a different person, and we help them and tailor all our aspects as far as financing, loaning money, credit counseling, helping people better their credit scores to get mortgages, so on and so forth. We tailor our quality of services to that one person, and we do that throughout.
There's no doubt. And we talked about longevity a little bit. Y'all been here a while. When did Premier Credit open their doors? What year was that?
February 1997, and he started conducting business in August of 1997.
So over 2 decades.
Over 2 decades.
That's a long time to be a privately owned finance company.
That's right.
You see them pop up and they pop up, and it seems like the next year they go away a lot of times. So if you want to know if you're dealing with a good finance company, a good way to judge that is longevity. Yes. If they've been around a long time, they're probably doing something right.
That's right.
So much so that your company, your dad's company, Premier Credit, won Livingston Parish Small Business of the Year. Yep. This was 1997?
1998.
1998. 1998. So there's 2 people in this room that have won small business. Well, you won small business. I won large business.
Nice.
That's right. So we're rocking and rolling. I believe Livingston Parish News was nominated one year as well.
We won Medium Business of the Year in 2013.
There you go. So we have 3. Everybody in this room can retire.
I wasn't working there yet, but
You'll take all the credit though. That's okay.
I'll soak in that credit if I can.
That's a huge honor, and so congratulations for that, and we're gonna get you rocking and rolling in the chamber again, and get you networking in there, and we love people in the chamber like Premier Credit that are locally family-owned companies that have young guns, if I can call you that really are movers and shakers. So in 2016, that was a rough year. A lot of folks, man, including Premier Credit. I mean, your business flooded, didn't it?
For sure. Yeah, it definitely did. We worked that Friday, and of course, we didn't know anything was different. Obviously, a bunch of rain, but nonetheless, we woke up Saturday, and I had to go into the office for something, and I realized that I couldn't go, and I checked the cameras, and we got water flooding in from everywhere. So to say it was a rough year was the least, but we're lucky because we are local, and there's a bunch of great local people in our community, and that's why we was able to come back even better, stronger, and actually thrive.
And quicker.
Y'all
were one of the first businesses I remember opening after the flood, which let me tell you how important this is. I want to highlight this point. People back then needed money. Because a lot of people were not insured, or if they were insured, maybe they didn't have contents insurance. Maybe it was, or underinsured in a lot of cases, or they were fighting their insurance company to get the checks, like me. And so in those cases, a Premier Credit was a lifesaver.
For sure.
So I'm sure both you and your dad were like, we need to get open. People need help, and we need to help them.
So immediately, I would say probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I was neither one of our homes had flooded, so I was actually able to make a kind of a home office call center out of his office in his house, and I was able to do a lot of stuff from there. And as far as being open, we has actually found the perfect construction crew, and we was back in our office. The first full working day was September 9th, less than a month from the day that it flooded.
That's unbelievable.
Being able to be there was more so of helping our customers as far as credit advice and budgeting, more so than loans. I mean, the loans came later on down the road, a month or so later, but nonetheless, it was being there to advise them on how to take their next steps as far as budgeting and bills and what they need to expect and what they shouldn't expect, and how to help our local community people with that.
So you cover budgeting and all those sorts of things as well.
Oh yeah, we do credit counseling. We help people with their credit, whether they're a customer of ours or not. It's a free service that we not only offer to our customers and past customers, but to people in the community that may just not have the credit knowledge to pursue certain goals that they want.
Sure. That's fantastic, because eventually you want them to get to a point where they don't need a Premier Credit anymore.
Exactly. That's the goal, is helping them get to, self-sufficient knowledge to where they know everything, and maybe they can call us and just talk to us, and maybe they don't need anything then. It's just all about helping somebody else that needs the help or needs the advice.
That's a great attitude to have, and very admirable. Both of you, your daddy raised you right. That's a good thing. So with finance companies, there's some major misconceptions regarding like the difference between a payday loan and a finance company. What sticks out to me more than anything else is the term. A payday loan, you've got about a month to pay that back. I'd imagine finance companies, you can extend those payments out over several years in certain cases. So let's discuss your thoughts on payday loans versus going through a finance company like Premier Credit.
For sure. Payday loans, that's more towards the predatory lending. It's not really good for the consumer at all. Generally, you borrow a sum of money, whether it be a couple $100 or maybe even a little more than that, $500-$600, and you have to pay it back generally within a month. If not, you just pay something called a renewal fee or a refinance or reterming fee, and you pay that until you can pay back that full amount within that 30 days. Whereas we're a consumer lending company, whereas we loan anything from $500 up to $30,000, and we set it on term. So you have a monthly payment that is composed of principal and interest that you pay back over a period of time. And that's where you differentiate yourself, so you're not in a payday trap.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is, because what they rely on, this is my opinion. Of course, you're the expert, but just because I read a lot of things, one of the things they rely on is the fact that you get kind of hooked on that.
Correct.
They want you in that cycle.
Yeah, they make that renewal fee every month, and then they want to keep you in there,
Yeah.
And it's great for them to make money, I guess. But as far as the consumer side, it's a trap that you will never get out of, or that's very hard to get out of.
Yeah, they're not giving you credit counseling over there.
No, they're not, and they're not helping your credit either. Whereas us, we report to all the 3 credit bureaus: Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. Whereas them, they don't, and
That's a huge point.
It is, and it hurts you more than anything, whereas we want to help those people, and especially the community, get out of those traps, get out of those predatory lending loans, and get them fixed up right.
Yeah, and I would imagine when you extend out a payment, your terms are a little bit easier to swallow, and
much more so.
Sorts of things like that. So, but Ray, you bring up a good point, and that is that you report. And so, if you're someone in a situation where maybe you had a little credit issue there, maybe life happened. Yeah. And you stumbled a little bit. If you're getting a payday loan, then you're not really building your credit back.
No.
Because they're not reporting it. You can pay it like clockwork. They ain't telling nobody.
And they ain't telling nobody, and it doesn't benefit you on your credit reports at all. And you just made a great point, too, since we're pinging off of each other's great points. Is
We're full of great points on this podcast.
Is life happens, and more so than anything, it does. It happens to you. It happens to me. It happens to everyone, and unfortunately, you might not have the best of credit, but that's when you find somebody that's going to help you and put you back into that situation and get you back to some good positive credit.
And that's what you people are there for, and we love it that you do it. So, what types of loans do you offer? Are they strictly secured loans, or do you offer non-secured signature loans as well?
Yeah, it's pretty much non-secured signature loans. We have to call them secured, but all we do is list what's called a personal property list, but in all actuality, it's just an asset list, assets that you have at your home. Sure. And I can do pretty much a signature loan off of that. But I do loans from as little as $500 up to $30,000. We do personal loans, auto loans, boat loans. We'll do mobile home loans. You name it, we help people convert payday loans. If they have a payday loan and they need to get out of that, we will pay them off, and then you can deal with us.
Get out of the cycle.
Get out of the cycle, exactly. We can do consolidation loans if people need help paying off credit cards. You name it, there's nothing we don't do.
Yeah, and your rates are more typical of competitive credit card rates.
Oh, of course.
Than these crazy.
100-200% raise. That's not going to happen with us. We're going to be around like a credit card rate for sure.
There you go. Which is about as competitive as you can be. On that stuff. So that's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Stephanie Berthelot and the crew at SR Enterprise can handle it all, from sheetrock to texture to paint. Give Stephanie a call at 504-432-9284. SR Enterprise, where they spread the paint and you spread the word.
Definitely.
Triton HealthCare, located at 8128 Florida Boulevard in Denham Springs, offers a wide range of physical therapy services for a number of chronic and acute ailments. Whether it's sports injuries from accidents, or neurological disorders, Triton HealthCare can take care of it. They offer post-surgery rehab services, which is a specialized sports medicine program, and massage, as well as occupational and speech, language therapy.
Stores, automotive
so
shops,
check out Triton HealthCare, who has been an active part of the Livingston Parish community since 1999 and are dedicated to providing the very best in rehabilitative care
tailored
to all
financing for those
Livingston Parish
companies that can
residents.
offer
They can be reached at
customers,
225-791-8666, and they are a proud sponsor
and that's a big thing,
of
is
local
trying to keep
leaders.
everything as local as possible to keep our current community thriving.
Yeah, and essentially, so what Ray's essentially saying is, if you have a business and it's a business where you sell a good, and let's say it's I don't know, pick a good, but $1,500 item here. And maybe that's something that a lot of people struggle to come up with, right out the gate. They're not going to pay you $1,500 and walk out. Maybe you give Premier Credit a call, get with Ray and say, hey man, would you be my finance company for me? And I'm going to put your flyers in my store and I'll get all the information, fax it to you. And
it is so easy to. I mean, there is literally nothing the business owner has to do. It doesn't cost them anything. And we offer special financing for businesses to offer their customers. So very big thing to do. And we'd love to help people with that.
Yeah. And it's huge from the aspect of the business owner that owns like a flooring company. If you're not offering financing, then you're probably
losing some business.
Oh, you've got to be. Yep. Because not everybody has $2,500, $3,000 for floors. Mm-hmm. Or they don't want to part with it right all at once. So
exactly, it's a big expense.
Yeah, and it costs you nothing to get with Ray and those folks at Premier Credit. Let them kind of tell you what they can do and what they would need from you when your customers walk in.
That's right.
And it's easy. It just makes it easy, and it'll get you some sales. I can guarantee you that.
For sure. So
when people need money, more often than not, it's in a hurry.
Oh.
Okay. So, I think that's something y'all are known for more than anything else is the speed of service in which you can process a lot.
Very much so. As you know, we're in a generation, or we're in a livelihood now where everything is immediate, right this second, no wasted time. Don't waste my time. Get it to me right now. And we just have a process in place to where we can do everything from getting the credit app to funding the loan to signing the loan docs, everything within 30 minutes. I mean, sometimes it may take a little less than an hour because we may be busy, but having that fast turnaround, you're taken care of. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We want to get you in the office. We want to get you to sign 2 or 3 loan forms, and we want to put a check in your hand so you can handle what you need to handle. Time is precious.
Yeah, and is it a pretty simple process?
Oh, very simple.
Is it 500 forms and all that sort of stuff that you deal with other?
So many people are misconstrued because it used to be like that, or there are still places that have 500-600 forms you got to read and fill out, and it takes 2 or 3 days for your approval to come back. Nothing like that. It takes 4 or 5 minutes for us to get an application over the phone, or they can come in the office. We work on the credit. We look at the credit. We see what we can get you approved for. You come in, 2 or 3 loan docs that you sign, and I put a check in your hand, and that's it. You're done.
Yeah. And you mentioned credit, and you're going to pull the credit, check it out, but you don't have to have like an 850.
No, indeed.
To qualify. I mean, y'all pretty much tailor suit to fit almost anybody, I would imagine.
Correct. We help everybody in every genre as far as credit. Now, as far as helping every single person, I can't lie to you and tell you that we can do that. That'd be a lie.
Nobody could.
Nobody could. However, with us, we're going to do what we can to help you. We may not be able to help you at that time, but I'm going to spend some time with you on the phone to tell you why, so that way maybe me and that person can then do business in the future. And we get a lot of help from that.
And even if it's a denial, they get that denial quick. It's not, one of the problems with some of the more traditional, I guess you could say, loan processes are the time frame in which to process that application. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the application, you may not even be approved.
And then you get told no, and then they don't tell you anything. And that's what hurts, is because that person doesn't know what they did or didn't do to get approved. Like I just said, everybody's not going to be able to get approved, but someone needs to tell them and coach them and offer advice. And more times than not, that person is receptive and thankful for that, because no one has told them that, and they don't know what to do because they just don't have that credit knowledge, and that's where we differentiate ourselves.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. COVID sticks out to me because they had the PPP loans, for example, that came out,
Correct.
And there was a lot of red tape there and a lot of issues with the way in which, and I'm not blaming the banks, but the way in which those were processed, I think there was confusion on all sides. Anytime the federal government gets that involved in something, you can bet that they're going to confuse.
You can guarantee the confusion.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's any one blame you can place anywhere, but that's really a good example of a lot of people waited a while, finally got an answer, and it was no.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you could have told me this a month ago.
Exactly. After filling all that out, spending all that time, and as we know, time is precious. I've already said that a couple of times.
Yeah. Well, it really is.
It is, and to have to go through all that red tape and spend your work time whenever you could be doing something else, filling out all those forms, then to get told no a couple weeks later, that's a hard pill to swallow.
It really is. So y'all can do this pretty much same day. Tell you yes or no anyway.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get an answer back generally within 30 minutes.
There you go. I mean, you can't get no faster than that. So what about the criteria? So, I know that, if someone walked in and they had a job for 20 years and they had a pretty steady income, those sorts of things, maybe their credit was a little not the best. Maybe something happened in their life, like a flood, and they sit down. One thing I like about you and your dad is you can sit down and you can say, here's what happened. This is why this is like this. You're going to listen, and you're a human being. You're not a computer.
I'm not a computer.
You're not a bunch of ones and zeros. You're not saying, well, they have to have a 5-year job history with this credit score and this income, or they don't get approved. There's extenuating circumstances sometimes,
exactly,
and human beings can differentiate.
For
right?
sure, exactly, and that's the thing is there's no computer making our decisions. I mean, we're a human being that wants to help. I mean, this is how we stay in business. Obviously, this is how we make a livelihood, but we want to help you just as much as we want to help ourselves, and listen to those stories and figure out how can we insert us and Premier Credit into the problem so that we can make it a solution and get you the help that you may need and get your credit on the bounce back phase. And that's what we do, man.
Yeah.
That's
every day, all day.
Exactly. I get excited thinking about it. I mean, loaning money and doing all that, that's great. It's fun. I love the office atmosphere. But really, when you get down to it, I mean, what gets me going, what gives me the chill bumps like I have now is helping people. And to help people, especially with their finances, I mean, that literally is why I'm here. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's why I'm so excited about it.
And you really are helping people. And I'm sure you've seen situations where maybe, Ray, maybe you made the difference, a huge difference. Maybe you didn't even perceive how much of a difference you made in this person's life.
Exactly.
It probably, sometimes when you get money and you need it, it's like a huge weight comes off of you. So thank you for that. Because, y'all helped a lot of people in this community with their needs on that end. So regarding criteria, what do you look for? What are good things that, I would imagine steady job history is good.
Definitely they need to have some type of verifiable income. Now with us, they don't have to have a W-2 job or a 1099 job. We help people on Social Security. We help people on disability, retirement, you name it. As long as we can verify it, we want to help that person. You mentioned credit just a minute ago. They don't have to have the best credit. Yeah. We can work around some things like that. You know, everybody's not an 850 credit score, unfortunately.
Only McHugh.
Yeah, only McHugh, huh?
He's laughing over there.
And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean,
and you said it yourself. It's the great thing about being family owned, being a private company, is you make the decisions.
That's right. We don't have to answer to anybody.
There's no policy, so to speak, like you would run into at some of these corporations.
Correct. There's no boxes that we have to check. We check our own boxes. We fill out that person and we do what we can to help you. I'm not asking somebody else to make a decision. My dad's not asking somebody else to make a decision, or what do they think? We make the decision and we try to help you in every aspect.
Yeah, definitely. And you have a website. Can you apply for the loan on that web?
Oh, very much so. We have
that's huge.
Apply for loan. Very little criteria that we get, and within minutes, someone from my office actually calls you or emails you direct, and then we get a complete credit application. So just by going to my website, premiercredit.com,
Yeah. For those of you, and I'm going to link, by the way, I'm going to link that to the video and as well as a picture of the sign we talked about.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good to pop up.
But just we get a name and phone number, and generally the amount that they're needing. We get an immediate email. Then we have one of the ladies in the office will call and either get a complete credit application or we get it via email. And makes the process super easy, super time sensitive. And they can even put on there when they would like for us to call them, which is super awesome. Hey, if you're at work and you got a lunch break and you know an exact time you'd like us to call, we will call on that time every single time.
And that's good because some people, that's their business and maybe they're around people they don't want to hear, you don't want them hearing all your business. Right. And so that's great that you, that's huge. Confidentiality is key in your business. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, and y'all do a great job with that.
We do.
Triton HealthCare, located at 8128 Florida Boulevard in Denham Springs, offers a wide range of physical therapy services for a number of chronic and acute ailments. Whether it's sports injuries, injuries from accidents, or neurological disorders, Triton HealthCare can take care of it. They offer post-surgery rehab services, which is a specialized sports medicine program, and massage, as well as occupational and speech language therapies. So check out Triton HealthCare, who has been an active part of the Livingston Parish community since 1999 and are dedicated to providing the very best in rehabilitative care to all Livingston Parish residents. They can be reached at 225-791-8666, and they are a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast.
We do.
The bulk of your business is in Livingston Parish, but you do service surrounding parishes as well.
Much so. Yeah. East Baton Rouge to West Baton Rouge. We go out to Tangipahoa Parish. I mean, you name it. I mean, we're in that huge tri-parish, four-parish area. And, don't be surprised if you see a Premier Credit in your community that's not in those parishes one day.
Yeah. And actually, that's my next question. It's funny you mentioned that.
We're going to keep pushing that.
Yeah. So business leaders always set business goals, short-term goals and long-term goals. I'm a big believer in goal setting. And what you don't want to do, you don't want to set a goal that's way off in the future and then you don't have these short-term goals that you can achieve in the meantime. Correct. But you want to kind of have both. And what do you see? You're the future and the present of Premier Credit. Your dad at some point is just going to give you all the reins if he hadn't already and say, here, I'm tired of doing this. I'm going to go hat fishing or whatever.
That's right. I'm going to enjoy the old people's life, and I'm just going to, I'll let you know when I need you. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. So you're the future of the organization for sure. And one thing on that I do want to say, interestingly, you're second generation. So your dad was first generation, and the percentage, it's a great thing just to make it from that first to second generation. There is like a 50% gap in companies that survive from the first to the second. And then, of course, as you go along, it lowers and lowers and lowers. Yeah, my company, Farrell Calhoun Paint, they're in it's like the sixth generation now or something.
That's an amazing feat.
Yeah, it's only like 6% of all corporations make it that long. So that's impressive. I can foresee that for you. One thing I'll say, just to kind of sidebar on this, but on your Facebook, you had posted the other day, it made an impression on me. You had put, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was essentially when you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life.
Oh, amen to that.
Which is a famous, it's kind of a famous thing that you hear. Of course. But when you were talking earlier about how much you love what you do, that relates. Sure. Isn't that important?
Oh, so important because, making a living, you have to work. And obviously, whenever you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And especially being a business owner, you don't just get a 40-hour week.
No, you don't work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I mean, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you have to make sure that you're not only available for your clientele, but for your employees and so on and so forth. So with that being said, you definitely have to love it and you have to be able to breathe it. Now, you got to find times whenever you got to set yourself away, get a good breather, and have a good vacation like you just did recently.
Yes,
I saw y'all at the beach.
Yep.
But nonetheless,
It was great.
that's what it's all about. You gotta, if you love it, it's not work. And with me and especially my dad, I know our employees, they love it so much. It's not work. We have fun every day we go to work.
I bet you do. I almost want to work for you. Just, man, it looks fun over there. Y'all have a great time.
No hair needed.
No hair needed. Thank God for that. So, and I'll say this, I agree with you. And I can't imagine, sometimes my heart goes out to people that, there's people in this world, man, they're working and they're in jobs they hate and they're miserable.
Yeah,
and
sad.
I can honestly say I don't know what that's like. I've never, when I was a kid, there was a construction job I did one time that I absolutely hated, but it was like for 2 days. And I said, yeah, roofing houses is not for me. And that was the last I ever did of that. But my whole professional life, I've always done something I love and enjoy. Yep. Very important. And when you love it, when you enjoy it, it comes out in how you treat your customers. Right. And I think that's a glaring thing from a guy outside looking in that I see and have always seen with your company.
Oh, for sure.
That's fantastic. So we're talking goals here, and you had mentioned, hey, expansion maybe in the is this something you plan on doing one day and really pushing out there?
Very much so.
Fantastic.
And my dad too. He wants to be very involved in that as much as also. So it is very, very important that you do set those goals, and we do have some goals to kind of branch out. We would love to stretch out into some other communities. We definitely have on our radar, so it could definitely happen.
I'll tell you what, in that community, wherever that may be, can use it, because when you have finance companies such as Premier Credit, I mean, those are hard to find. They don't grow on trees, right? Mm-hmm. They don't grow on trees, and so the more communities that you get in, that's the more people you can touch, exactly. More people you can help, and that's all. That's what we're here for, man. That's all of us.
That's the end goal, to help people, right?
It really is.
Really, what we're here and what we're on this earth to do is, help other people, and that's what we want to do.
And when you do that, you feel good about it, and you're making a difference. Yeah. Man, I started this podcast because I am a small business, a local business guy. Always have been my whole life. I'm very passionate about it, almost to a fault. Sometimes people will tell me it's to a fault, but I am. I just love it. It's a passion of mine. And, I talk a lot, right? And because,
no, you don't.
I love to talk. I love that people listen to me talk. And so because of that, it was a way for me to kind of get the attention on local business. Yep. In a way such as podcasting that would not only make me feel good about it, but it would help people. And that's what we're all doing. We can all do it together. I had James Adam McCants sitting where you were earlier, yep. And we were talking about, the kind of the younger generation here in Livingston Parish. We got some sharp cats around here, mm-hmm. And we got some really sharp business owners. This guy's starting a lighting company. It's going to be second to none. McHugh, by the way, if you can't see him off camera. James Adam McCants at SportNCenter. I'm podcasting everybody on earth right now that owns a small business.
And you're great at it, which helps too. I mean,
thank you very much for
watching
that.
your podcast, man, you're good. Your podcasts are good.
I'll take any compliments I can get. I love it. Thank you. And obviously you with Premier Credit. I mean, we're building something in this parish, and all I want to see is Livingston Parish succeed and get out there. So you're doing your part, man. Y'all are rocking it over there. Now, let me ask you some other questions that customers may have. And one of them is, what types of items? You have mentioned that y'all don't necessarily do like collateral loans, for example, but what types of items do you look for that are things that people could use on that property list? I mean, is it tools and stuff like that typically?
I mean, anything like that. I mean, computers, guns, TVs, tools, lawnmower, stuff like that. Any personal assets that you own that have an accumulated value. It's super easy. I get that list. I get it one time, and I can use it for numerous loans going forward. So that way I get it one time, and I don't have to get it pretty much for a while, to say the least, 5 to 8 years. I don't have to really get it after that. Until then, and I have to get it again. But nonetheless, use that every time, and it's pretty much a signature loan.
Well, that's a great point you just said. So how long do you go out on loans typically? What's a typical
loan? I would say would be anywhere from 18 to 24 months. However, we offer anything as little as 6 months up to 60 months, which would be 5 years.
So like vehicles, if somebody want to get a used car, you can finance it for that 5 years, which is typical of when you finance you know, any car,
a used
really.
car, exactly, or any car. And a lot of people are surprised because they don't have to go out to 60 months. They don't have to stretch it out 5 years. We can generally get them in that 3 and 4 year term on that car, and them be more than satisfied with their payment, and be more than happy that we were able to keep them without maxing out their term on 5 years.
Yeah. And I'd imagine you have a lot of repeat customers because of your service, and people that, they want to deal with Premier Credit for their loans because they're taken care of.
Exactly. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, if you're dealing with me and you're taking care of it, I'm going to always be there to take care of you, no matter the situation or the hiccup that you're in. That's the plus about dealing with small local businesses is having that phone call, that cell phone that's on my business card. It's a Saturday, it's a Sunday. You have an emergency, you call me up, and I'm there in 10 minutes, and we're getting this thing done. There's no red tape we got to jump through. There's not 100 boxes you got to check. I mean, it's just very easy, simple, and painless.
It's a relationship.
And
that changes the whole ballgame. You can't make relationships with companies that aren't family owned, and that's right. And even y'all are so exceptional within the way that you form those. You're just doing a great job with that. Now, you've been a successful family owned business for over 2 decades, a long time. What would you say? And this hopefully don't put you on the spot too much, but what would you attribute your longevity to the most? What do you think Premier Credit does kind of that sets them apart more than anything else in your industry?
I would say more than anything, the processes that we have in office to relate to each individual's needs. Right. Even other finance companies, they're not able to do the certain things that we're able to do as far as being available as much as we're available to our customers. To listen to the problems that they have. The processes my dad put into this company 2 decades ago, that are still solid, that we can continue to build on. You have a hard, firm foundation. You can go as high as you want, as long as it's solid. So things of that nature.
That's a great way to put it. And that I would agree with that wholeheartedly, just standing from the outside, that the way in which you take care of your customers and you make yourself available, that is the key to longevity, really, in any business. So you also support your community. We mentioned earlier you're in the Livingston Parish Chamber of Commerce, you remember? And we mentioned you were honored as Small Business of the Year in 1998. But you also support Local Leaders, a podcast. You help this loudmouth, bald-headed guy right here talking. But what you do is to me, you put really in anything you do, you're putting kind of your money where your mouth is, as far as and that's a harsh way of putting it probably, but you're walking the walk is what you're doing, and that's what we all do.
And you have to walk the walk, and we may not be involved in the chamber as much, but we definitely support it, and we contribute in every aspect that we can.
Well, we're going to change that. We're going to get you in there.
That's right.
You're going to say, Jim, quit signing me up for stuff. I'm going to have April calling you every day. But yeah, we can, you know what? And the fact that you support the chamber is huge. I'm a big believer in chambers of commerces because they back small business as a lobby. And if it wasn't for the chamber, we'd probably be paying $30 minimum wages right now, which is great for somebody that makes minimum wage, but for the business owner, it can literally put you out of business. And so now one thing that's common in all leaders is books that they read. We do a book club here. You and I were talking earlier, and you had mentioned How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, a good classic.
Very classic.
And yes, it is. And so we're adding, obviously, that book to our local leaders library list. What we do, Ray, is I put out and I don't know if you're on that email list or not. I think you are, but we do a little weekly leaders newsletter. And in that newsletter, we highlight, like I'll have you highlighted in this podcast, kind of cover it in written form. And so I send that out as an email every week. And I have a little library in there. And as people come on, I put those recommendations down. Awesome. So that's a great book there. So tell me, there's some other fun things that y'all do. Tell me about Spin the Wheel. I got to know about this.
We do customer promotion stuff, or really even just potential customer promotion stuff all the time. This is something we came up with in January, February, and we ordered a big Spin the Wheel thing. It's kind of obnoxious in my office, but it's on a stand, and there's probably 10 different colors on there. You come in, you spin the wheel, and you could win something as small as like a keychain or a t-shirt, but we have prizes on there that's like up to $200 cash.
There you go.
You land on that color, and guess what? You get $200 cash just for coming in and spinning the wheel.
Just come in and spin the wheel.
I mean, it's just crazy stuff that we do. It doesn't make any sense, but we do it.
Did your dad come up with that, Robert?
I would tell you, I had a heart attack when he came with me at this, and then he did come up with it. But
I got a great idea.
he's like, we're just gonna give everything away. We're just gonna give it all away. And I was like, you sure you done lost your marbles? You done reached that pinnacle of age yet?
I love it.
And no,
that's funny.
It is true. And we ordered some T-shirts, and I mean, we had all kinds of cool stuff like Chick-fil-A gift cards and Starbucks gift cards and everything that people like. And I mean, it was just something that went on. Well, we was just gonna do it for February. Yeah. He's like, man, people like doing that. I'm like, yeah, they're loving it. He's like, let's do it for a couple more months. So here we go. We're spinning this wheel for a couple more months, throwing out all this cash and everything, but just fun stuff like that.
Sounds like fun, and so go over there and spin the wheel one day.
Yeah, go over there and spin the wheel.
Land on the 200.
Land on the 200.
Yes, indeed. LeAnn's Flooring by Design, conveniently located on Florida Boulevard in Denham Springs. LeAnn can service all of your flooring needs. Give them a call for an appointment at 523-7004. At LeAnn's Flooring by Design, they stand behind everything you walk on. So running a company, we talked about the time, and even though it's, when you love what you do, it's not work. Of course, it requires a lot of time just from the aspect of your passion for it. So you got to have some hobbies to distress. What hobbies do you like? You play golf? Yeah.
Well, I'm just now getting into golf. My buddy Nick is into golf, and he's trying to get me into it a little more, which it's very stressful because I'm not good at it.
Me neither, but I love it.
It's so weird.
Horrible, and
exactly.
I love it.
It's like I love it. Like I want to go play so I can see how bad I am because I enjoy it so much. I don't really know.
That's why scrambles are so good though, because you can be horrible and hit one good shot the whole time and win for an entire team because you're playing best ball and all those things.
Exactly. I got to get.
Yeah, I can relate.
Of course, obviously, I definitely know about the de-stressing side of it, like you just mentioned. My wife, she definitely knows the strain of me being available 24 hours a day. So whenever I get to spend some time with her, she's super excited about it, of course.
Yeah, I know that, dude. I know that feeling, too.
Your phone's ringing again? Again?
Are you answering that in the line at Disney World? I've heard that before.
Yes. Who are you texting at 9:30 at night, and why is it important?
Right. Yeah, but we love them, and we get it.
Okay. I understand her completely, and I love her.
Yeah. And you have an addition on the way?
Yes, we have a baby on the way, 17 and a half weeks, 18 weeks. So we're super excited. We're, ready for that.
Third generation coming on down the pipe.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Now, how can folks get more information on Premier Credit? So I know you're online. You have a website. Tell us that.
Yeah, we have a website, premiercredit.com. It has so much information about everything we talked about here just a little bit ago, where we started, what kind of business we can conduct, what do we do and how we can help you, or vice versa, how you can help us to help you. I mean, it's crazy how much information you can just get from a website. A few clicks and you get everything that you need nowadays. Google, Mr. McHugh wrote a great story on me and my dad last year, so it was pretty awesome. Our Facebook page is obviously very informational as well. Informative.
Either works.
Whichever word
the
works.
king of words is over here. Which one, information or informative? It's a good one, isn't it?
I'd say informative.
Informative, yeah. Our Facebook is very informative also.
Awesome. That's perfect. Yes, it is. I've seen it, been through it. It is informative. And just for all you listeners and viewers out there, I'm going to link both of those to this podcast in the description section. So it'd make it easy. You just click on it. Boom, you're there. He's located right there on Del Norte Avenue, street right next to the post office.
Right in the heart of Denham Springs.
Right in the heart. It is the artery of Denham Springs on that end. So really easy to find. You're 5 minutes away from everything when you're at your office. So really easy to find and get to if you are a business that sells a good that like flooring, or you sell boats, or you sell cars, or those sorts of things. You need to give Premier Credit a call.
That's right. Give us a call.
With Ray and Robert and talk to them about getting set up as a vendor, I guess you would call it, or whatever, preferred finance company, and watch your sales jump. I'm telling you, that kind of stuff works. Not everybody has all those Benjamins to just slap on the table for flooring and those things. So you don't want them leaving your business to go to someone that does.
That's right.
So that's what you want to keep in mind there. I'd like to thank. It was fun, first of all, with you. I had a great time.
Me too, man. It's awesome. It is awesome.
So I'll make sure I link all that. Before we get to you, I'm going to give you. I have a couple gifts.
Oh man, thanks.
Man, when it rains, it pours on this show.
Oh, no way.
And so the first one I'm going to give you, this is from James Adam McCants at SportNCenter.
Oh, man.
That is the official.
This doesn't mean I got to shave my head, right?
No, it does not.
All right.
It absolutely does not.
Man, this is awesome.
It is. It's the Local Leaders tumbler. James actually makes those in-house. They have a laser that we talked about previous to this podcast, and they have a laser that they do in-house. They can make all kinds of stuff with. So you'll have to check that one out.
Oh, I definitely will.
We bought some goodies, and this is from us here at Local Leaders. This is the Livingston Parish Opoly.
Oh man,
and that would look great just sitting on a shelf in Premier.
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
That's really cool. So I saw those, and I bought a bunch of them because I thought that was a great gift to give guests, considering this is Local Leaders of the podcast.
Oh, of course, man.
Great subject there.
We're gonna have to get together and play some Monopoly.
Absolutely, it would be better than my golf game. But playing with a finance guy, playing Monopoly, I don't know, man. You probably kill me.
I don't know about that. Hey, wisdom triumphs knowledge any day of the week. So
indeed, and thank God for that. Yes, it does. So I want to thank you, McHugh, David, for engineering the podcast, engineering all our podcasts. My guest for today, Ray Bergeron of Premier Credit Corporation, the Livingston Parish News for the space, and all you viewers and listeners for your support. Please follow me on all my social media. Thank you so much. We've hit over 700 subscribers as of today on YouTube. That's a big
Congratulations.
deal. We had less than 100 only a couple months ago, Ray. What? So word's getting out. Somebody wants to hear me.
I told you you were good. I told you were
good. I don't know if
good.
it's that. It's y'all are good. I just kind of give the message out there. But if you're interested in sponsoring Local Leaders of the podcast, or for appearing on the show, just reach out to me, jim@paintpodcast.com. You can call me on the phone. You can look me up on paintpodcast.com, has all my contact information. I want to thank all my sponsors for this show as well, including these guys who are my Premier Credit is my premier sponsor. They're the first ones you'll see. Thank you very much. I could not do this without all of the folks like you, so it means a lot to me. If you're interested in getting the newsletter, we talked about it earlier, just let me know and I will get it to you via email. Keep an eye out for many more shows coming to you in the future. Next week, we have the king of Walker himself, McHugh. Who do you think that would be? Too late. You didn't say it in time. It is the the auctioneer himself from Walker. He will be here, and he's going to be talking about the Zachary Historical Society. There's a 3-day auction, and the good folks over there are gonna come in here, and they're gonna talk all about that. They talk about all those things. Tony Acord.
Yes.
So you know Tony?
Yes.
What's the name of his business?
Southern
Airs Auction. See, I was testing him. So Tony will be here with Southern Airs Auction, and he'll be talking about all that. So tune in. He's a super popular guy in the area. And that's it. Until next time, I am Jim Chapman, reminding you, love your community, support local business, and keep leading.